Who's a fat boy?
Podcast Fat Boy.
And we're back. It's 2018 and Podcast Fat Boy is back on schedule. Back on schedule again. My biggest problem is staying on schedule with Podcast Fat Boy, baby. It has been a while. It has really started to slip. I've really let this one go. That's okay though, because you know what? I really haven't got a ton of tweets with question marks, being like, when's the next episode? Don't think that there's a lot of pressure to do this podcast. Again, you know, as everybody wants from it, I get to check in from time to time, give you an update on my life, on my health, on my thoughts of the world, because they're important, and then we move on for another month or so. Just real tough to think of this, you know, week to week. But I like to check in. I've been meaning to do this for quite some time, my podfats. Quite some time, my fatty boys. So I finally, I got to go to hockey in about a half hour. I figured, get in a hot 20, a hot 24 before I go to get episode 31 up online, because you know what? We are 4 days short, I think, of the 1 year anniversary of me rebooting the podcast to this type of format. Just as a reminder, this was my first podcast that I ever created, and I was very overzealous in a lot of ways as I started. The one note that I've had on my, I keep notes for what I want to talk about each episode. And the first one was take PodFat mugs to a rage room. Oh, you guys into rage rooms? I want to go to one for my birthday, but everybody thinks that's fucking insane to go to a room where you break plates and shit. But they do have them in the city of Toronto, and I'm sure at the city that you live in as well. In California and in Nebraska, and those are the two states I care about. So hopefully you guys have rage rooms that you can go to, and if you want, I can for $10 a mug, I'll send you a podcast Fat Boy. It's got a nice picture of my face on it, and you can fucking smash that sucker to the sun. All I fucking care. I don't give a shit. I've got a lot of mugs though that I've only given. I think I bought about 32 or something like that was the deal I got, and I've given away maybe 10 to 15. I need to get back on that, or take them to the rage room. These are just like thoughts of the podcast, things that I gotta think about. This is part of the structuring of it and whatnot. So it's been a while. December 1st was the last pod. Okay, so you probably have lots of questions. As far as my sports career goes, I'm a champion of ball hockey. A couple weeks after the last episode, won the championship. Huge deal. A lot of fun. Got a toque that says champion on it. That's pretty much all you get. A clean smile on your face too is which I had. Quite the smile after that. Went to a bar and we had a drink and talked about the good times and the bad times, and then we departed, and that was it. So that's going good. Feeling better playing ice hockey. Our team is, incrementally getting better. We're still a pretty bad team, but we also have just guys that don't ever want to come out. They're paying $20 a game to not show up. Real tough. Don't understand why, but Sunday nights, definitely the toughest slot of the week to play hockey for sure. But that's okay. Just recently saw a guy break his leg so bad, like his skate was backwards. That was pretty insane. Not supposed to happen at this level of hockey that I'm at, but I'm starting to feel like my legs are very strong. I can feel in my quads. They're getting very strong. The problem is that you get all of your power with hockey, mainly in your glutes. And I just feel like I'm completely overcompensating on them quads still, guys. Because, I wouldn't say I've got a tough glute yet, which is, the ass muscle. Ass muscle for you layman's. You layman's out there. So anyway, though, I feel a lot better and a little more confident. And you know what? It's you're getting exercise, you're having fun, and you're not running on a fucking, hamster wheel at the gym. Christ, I don't even know if my gym membership is still valid. I can't remember when the 3-month cycle that I paid for expired, or has it yet? I don't know. I hate going to the gyms now. It's not fun for me. I hate the whole thing. I hate seeing people there, more than once. If I see them more than once, it's like I feel like they're in my home. I paid for this space. I paid, I'm paying about $3 a day. Not even that. Not even friggin' that. I pay $45 for 3 months, which, comes to very little per day. Less than $1 for sure. And you just feel like I demand privacy, but you're not going to get it. You're not going to get when you're paying shit like that. So fuck the gym, right? It's 2018. Big fucking year for me. I love it. I booked my first fucking commercial like 4 days into the goddamn year. That's 9 straight years of booking commercials. Of being a person trying to act in some comical gems to get you to buy products or services. Mostly products. This one actually has, the day after I finished shooting it, big controversy about this product. As the world gets more stupid in the fart cloud that is Donald Trump, apparently a big craze in the States right now is kids eating Tide Pods, which is a detergent. It's a little pocket of chemicals, blue, white, and green. And I know it in such detail because, yes, that's right, I did a Tide Pod commercial. That is correct. And I had to hold them and throw them for that beautiful product shot of throwing them in the wash. And just the feel, like looking at it, it is kind of, it does call, it looks like a giant gusher. If you were a kid who ate Gushers, it looks very friendly to eat. Absolutely. And it's like, a tight little packed thing. And it essentially has like 3 different compartments in it. It's masterful dissolving skin compartments. Dissolving skin compartments is what the Tide Pods are made from. And yeah, like I thought about, popping one under one of my canines and, just spitting penguin blood for 4 days after that. I thought about it because, that's not good for anybody. But apparently kids are doing it, and it's so bad that Tide has to tell people in commercials and get famous celebrities to be like, don't eat these. Do not eat these. Just keep them for laundry because it's so bad. People are eating them, and, kids are probably getting all fucked up. And what is with all these challenges and shit? The kids are just, social media is just a real nasty cuss for these kids these days because there's so many things that, you're inspired by a challenge. Why can't they just do like a sit-up challenge or something like that? Why does it have to be, eating poison and getting YouTube likes or whatever? It's just, it needs to be a little bit more beneficial, I think, to the world instead of all these horrible, duct taping your whole body, using the paint from the original Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz, and you have to paint yourself like the Tin Man with that lead paint and see if you survive. That's what the kids should be doing if they want to do some stupid stuff. Okay, because the great thing about The Wizard of Oz is that you do not have to pay royalties to them. You can sing their fucking songs as much as you want. I do not know why. But, it's open. It's public access. It's pretty great. And so, just I don't know if I'm asking for a Wizard of Oz themed challenge because it's going to be paint yourself like the Tin Man with lead paint or bust. Okay, so that challenge I just put out there into the world. My 12,690 listeners, it's up to you to retweet this. I haven't checked in on the Internet Archive, what was it, Crate Digger, like the bottom of the barrel group that somebody put me in. That's very nice. Hopefully I've worked my way out of there, and they haven't added new episodes to the Crate Digger. I hated that, but you know what? I deserved it. You know, they were in there for 4 years or so, and yeah. It's just it's a dirty mag that you keep under the bed sometimes. Speaking of which, folks, yes, I am in the Charlie Bucket studio recording this. Your favorite place, my favorite place. What else? What else is? We passed New Year's. Right? Two things I want to talk about. New Year's resolutions. I've only ever stuck to them once. One was keeping the sugar out of my coffee, which has been, I think, 3 or 4 years now. Pretty proud of that one. Don't like coffee with sugar anymore. Just think about all that sugar you drink with you're drinking dessert. It's bad enough that a lot of the Canadian breakfast diet is already dessert with putting syrup on fried dough. So and then you're having a coffee with sugar. I don't know how I ever did it. I'm glad it's over. But my only New Year's resolution this year is to start using my water pick, because I hate flossing so much. And you know what? I really love the water pick. So I'm looking across the bed right now, essentially where Grandma Georgina would sleep. Kitty corner from me, Grandpa Joe, and we got her charger. I got a cordless water pick. I suggest you guys all water pick your teeth a little bit. It's very refreshing. Sometimes you can put in a little mouthwash in with the water, and oh my god, it is so nice. So that's one thing that I am using as a New Year's resolution. Well, I've talked about what else did I get health-wise? Health-wise, I also got a new FitBit for Christmas, the Charge HR2, and I had the first one, and it was okay. It was kind of ugly. This one's a little bit nicer, smartwatchy looking, So I definitely enjoy not only the look of it, but some new added features. Now, the one thing between the iWatch and, any Android smartwatch, the Apple Watch, whatever, all these things, Fitbit, where they're struggling in some areas, they seem to have a great sleep analysis over the other watches. So you can put this sucker on now, and it can, by your heartbeat, tell you if you're in REM, if you're in deep sleep, if you're in light sleep, when you're awake, and you see all the cycles as you go through in the night. And I didn't realize, but most of the time you're supposed to be light sleep. 60% of the time is light sleep. And, REM's the time that you dream. So it's 10-15%. Deep sleep, it seems pretty rare. That's when you're just you're in deep sleep, earthquake happens, you wake up like a friend of mine did on the other side of the room, don't know what happened. That sucker was in deep sleep, absolute deep sleep. Judging by my charts, I don't really flirt in there. I do wake up quite a bit. I'm usually awake about an hour, which is, I think, fine. It's still a bench in the benchmark area as far as Fitbit is concerned. But I really, the Charge HR2, it's not a super expensive watch, and it's great for exercise and the sleep thing. I recommend it. You don't want to pay all that money for a $350 fucking thing. So this is, the cheapest, best, moderately priced. Matt Duncan Esquire. I hope you like that. So I gave you my hockey update, guys. I do have to leave for hockey in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to have to edit this sucker after the game, post game. Hopefully it goes great. I've also got the Amazon Echo Plus for Christmas. Okay. Now, if you guys know what that is, that everyone's terrified of it because Amazon is always listening. And we originally we're gonna take it back because I was like, oh, I don't want this, Jesus. But as soon as you sync your Spotify to the sucker and you plug in a bunch of smart dimming bulbs and you can like tell it to dim this, turn off this. Oh man, it is great. We went full. I jumped right in, got more bulbs, and even got the Echo Dot for the bedroom so that we can have control in here too. So yeah, we're fully in. We're elbow deep in this shit, as they say. And, it's horrible in a sense because Amazon is just going to keep taking away jobs from lots of people. I just read that they opened up their own grocery store where there's no cashiers or anything. You just go in, take what you want, and I guess I don't know if there's a chip in everything or what, but as you're exiting, it just charges you for everything in your cart. Something like that. Not sure how it works yet, but I'm sure it's something like that. And... Yeah, if this is the way the world's going, if they're the ones crashing through the door first, that's scary. It's scary because what the hell are we all going to do for moolah? Okay? People need to work in grocery stores. It's important. There's a labor to it. And if we keep giving the robots all the work, they're gonna form a union. So the last thing you want is a robot union. So, check out the Amazon Alexa or whatever the fuck it is. I, changed one of them. I don't want to call it Alexa. I don't want it to be a person. I want it to be a goddamn computer. So you can change it so that it responds to computer. And I'm goddamn proud of it because I love Star Trek. And so do you. Next up on I've been talking about Trump a lot on this pod. Over the year, there's usually, the missile. Oh my God. Yeah. Like we always talk about the fear of missiles. And, as you know, I was in Hawaii earlier in the year and they got that warning saying, on their cell phones that a missile's coming and, goodbye essentially. And Trumpy didn't do anything about it for 40 minutes. He was playing golf and he's like, yeah, who gives a shit? He didn't care. He didn't care that people were like living in fear, thinking that a nuclear war was about to break out and completely evaporate the Hawaiian Islands, which it would. It's just, whoa, crazy. But old Trumpy in the health news, I should get him on the pod now because that chubby sucker just had his medical assessment, and hey, the dude's 72 years old or whatever. He can have a little bit of the extra loaf, especially if the dude is apparently eating cheeseburgers every night in bed. That shit's there till the day he dies. He's not burning that shit off anymore. And he also drinks about 15 Diet Cokes a day too, apparently. Amazingly doesn't look much different from election day, does he? Kind of has maintained his look, whereas, Obama turned into the Crypt Keeper a little bit by the end of his run. Jesus. Trumpy had the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, it's called, and yes, it originated in Canada, in Montreal, Quebec, and essentially it's a test that tests to see if you have really Alzheimer's or Parkinson's and stuff like that. They ask you to draw a clock and draw 3 o'clock on a clock or something like that, and if it's all just a bunch of numbers scattered together, pretty evident something's wrong. So he aced it. He aced the clock. He aced the part of it where it's like, is this a rhino? Is this a lion? Apparently he aced that part too. So he is more than fit. I think the big worry was like, does he have Alzheimer's? No. He's just, he doesn't know the words to Star Spangled Banner. Like, that's just the truth. It's not a brain disorder. He just actually doesn't know his own country's anthem, which is practically, in comparison to all anthems in the world, a fucking rock anthem. Like, that one is, you should have, every time you sing that, you have to have a flare that you shoot off. It's just like, whoa, war rules, man, war rules. So every time, that's what I think every time I hear that anthem. So Trump, he's, got his assessment. Not only is his mental health apparently fine, he's also borderline obese. And became a target of a lot of fat shaming by the liberal left elitists, celebrity talk show hosts and whatnot. And, that came under some fire because it's kind of like, hey, you can fucking say what you want about him, but don't you fucking fat shame this guy, because fat shaming is not cool. You don't fat shame people. I don't like fat shaming people. Even fucking that fat fuck Trump, who is like, if there is a description of a fat fuck that you can call someone, it's Mr. Donald J. Trump. That son of a gun, that son of a hoo-hoo, So he's got to lay off the cheeseburgers, cut back the Diet Cokes to about 9 per day, if you could. Guy's sucking back 2-liter bottles for sure. That's Trump's assessment. I got a lot of tweets asking me for my thoughts on the Trump medical assessment. I think that it's incredibly biased. And, couldn't that doctor that's also a soldier wear a lab coat or something? Like, just like, don't buy it coming from a colonel, coming from a fucking actor from Hogan's Heroes. You know what I mean? Like, give me a fucking, paint the picture a little bit. Like, this actually matters. So, what I want to talk about next is, I've been a little bit torn about something. Episode 1 of Podcast Fat Boy, Alex, the trainer, remember he came on. I don't know if you guys went back, but we talked to him a lot. He's a nutritional scientist doing his PhD, and he's very outspoken about, like, he doesn't like how, people who aren't educated in health studies like to, quote unquote, parrot documentaries, Netflix docs. Parroting Netflix docs it seems to be what doctors like to say as a retort and a criticism to people thinking that they know everything from watching these Netflix docs and stuff like that. So I don't know. There's one that I haven't seen. It's called What the Health, but a lot of people watch it and they got really fucking moved by it and stuff. And Alex posted a video of, quote, a real doctor watching What the Health. Now let me give you I'm going to play a little clip of this guy just so you can hear what's going on here. So this guy is, okay, let me paint the picture for you. This doctor is wearing a plaid shirt, and thank God he has a stethoscope around his neck, because you would not know. You would just think he was like a penny stock douche or something. If it were not for the stethoscope. And he's also pretty cool because he has a Darth Vader helmet in the background. Okay, so he's like a cool nerd, and he likes his Star Wars. So that is the recipe for a true amazing doctor. But here's the problem. You know what? I'm going to say this right now. These docs, I encourage them. I think that they should be challenging people to think about what doctors are telling them, because you know what? Sometimes doctors are wrong, and not everybody is a fucking scientist in what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, they make mistakes. You got to get second opinions, and you got to trust how you feel about your body to an extent. So this war of, people that aren't educated saying like, oh, well, I've seen all these docs, I'm full of knowledge now. And then doctors being like, oh, I went to fucking, I studied this one specific thing about nutrition for 10 years. You got to meet in the middle here somewhere, because this shit ain't going away. Shit ain't going away anytime fucking soon. Okay? But I just want you to hear this guy talk, and he goes back and forth with him watching it. And the problem with the two.
And sugary foods as a cause of diabetes. But I wanted to talk with an actual expert on the role of diet and diabetes. What role does sugar...
Okay, hold on. How is it that Dr. Neil Barnard gets the title Premier Researcher and Diabetes Expert? Like, what do you need to do to have that?
Diabetes is not and never was caused by eating a high carbohydrate diet, and it's not caused by eating sugar. The cause of diabetes is a diet that builds up the amount of fat into the blood. I'm talking about a typical meat-based, animal-based diet into the muscle cells of the human body.
The doctor's just watching with his jaw dropped right now, and there's a caption that says, not actual science.
What that means is the sugar that is naturally from the foods that you're eating can't get into the cells where it belongs. It builds up in the blood, and that's diabetes.
Did he just say that fat in the blood is what causes diabetes? The reason that fat builds up in those tissues is because of a high carbohydrate, high triglyceride generating diet. Ace?
Carbs cannot make you.
So there's a little taster there of So what, I'm supposed to believe this guy over a doctor that's being filmed? And I do admit, the guy that's narrating this doc, I haven't seen it yet. What the hell? He's got a broy surfer. Oh, dude, I didn't realize I had so many carcinogens in my fucking turkey roll that I eat every day. Oh, why are you saying that's good to eat? And he's got, he's not the most compelling. He's not Al Gore, okay? But then you got this doctor watching it being an asshole because he's so fed up with people, believing this shit. And it's just like, I think it's counterintuitive. I think that if your patients take this seriously, you should too. You should look at it and go, instead of having this response where you're like, you don't want that doc is full of shit. It's crap. Try to get down to that person's level, because there is a lot of worry and anxiety because of these docs. You got to temper it. Stop fucking harumphing and fucking help. Let's connect in the middle a little bit here. Okay? Stop eye rolling. This shit ain't going the fuck away. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about that. I don't want to watch that doc, though. It does look like shit. Boy, last thing I want to talk about before I wrap this up. We're at holy Jesus, really? I've really been tickling the old tongue. I do have to leave in about 5 minutes. There's a raw water craze now that I'm reading about, that people are, going to streams and bottling up water from, flowing little rivers and stuff like that, and thinking that's like, oh, this is the healthiest you can get. They saw the Kokanee commercial and they fucking drank the Kool-Aid. They just it does look frosty. It looks delicious when you see those commercials, but what I always think of, and I think I've read some articles trying to steer people away from doing this. The whole raw water craze, animals shit in these streams all the time, and not only shit and piss, but they also die, and they get stuck behind a log up at the top where you just can't see, and their fucking carcass water is. Who knows what fucking infections are pouring down, but you see it, it's shimmering in the light and it's going over the rocks and it's filtered and mineral, and you don't see that dead fucking raccoon rotting its maggots at its butthole up there, and you're, drinking that. I think when you're in the wilderness and you need water badly, they say to, go to those streams for water. Don't drink sitting water, obviously, because when it pools, it can... bacteria grows. What? But I don't think this should be something people are paying. Some people are paying $70 for 9.5 liters of this raw water. A little crazy. I am skeptical about over treatment in the water, but at least it's being treated, and you can buy filters that filter out all the garbage like chlorine and the salt and whatever, like I have here. So guys, chill out on the fucking raw water unless your plane crashed and you're fucking desperate and you have to drink it. But I would walk as far. I'd do a good kilometer walk up the river. Make sure there's no raccoon rotting out its asshole, just sitting, spread eagle in the middle of the stream. Okay, and then, or at least stay to the right or left of it. Don't let that line go right to you. Have I said enough? Of course I have. This has been Podcast Fat Boy, episode 31. Guys, we finally did it. It's 2018. I did a full year. It was, a little splotchy, but I'm pretty happy overall. To just twist my nipple here at the end about my weight. I'm under the 220s again. I'm about 218, 217. The weight's going down, guys. I'm almost at 216, which was the highest when I started this sucker 4 years ago. So I really am looking forward to getting below the 210, getting back to the aughts in a way. I think that only pertains to the 2000. I don't want to be 2,000 pounds. Never. Keep listening. Keep dreaming. Keep loving. I'm here. You're there. See you next time.